Hello, how's it going? I'm Alf, for short, or Michael L. Fox for long, or, any number of other things I've been referred to as over the years. I'm doing a little bit of an update here. I don't even, update isn't an apt description for what this is. It's been a while. If you're new to the channel, if this is the first time you've ever seen me, a video by me, all that, welcome. I'm gonna explain some stuff about what's going on with this channel, uh, in terms of the future, and I'm gonna address a couple things in the past because for those that have been around, have subscribed or followed the channel in one way or another, you may be thinking yourself, man, it's been a long time since Malf has posted a video or anything. It's been I don't know what the last video is. Probably over a year, something in that territory. And even then, um, videos content was pretty sporadic, off and on again, pretty frequently. Um, so yeah, we got some stuff to catch up on, and why I'm here now. So I guess I can address that first. Um, Basically, I mean, previously, I used to do things like YouTube and Twitch or any online presence of mine. I'd kind of consider it a hobby. I had for years. I've always been making videos, whether it's fun little skits and such with friends and family, or of course video game content and anything else. It's just always been something I've enjoyed doing, going as far back as I can remember. I was always fascinated, with people who had camcorders and technology. I always wanted to use it. I always wanted to make silly little things. So it was just kind of a natural thing, and became a hobby of mine at a fairly early age. And anytime kind of new platforms, new technology would come out, I'd always like to try it. So yeah, I'd always been doing that as a hobby, but in April of last year, 2019, or early April, I did something that was pretty big, pretty earth-shattering for me. I left my job, in the kind of corporate world. I had been with the same company for over a decade in different roles. Again, for those that aren't aware, or maybe kind of forgotten, but I used to work in the power industry where I would work at the facilities when they were under construction. I moved into operation. I moved into, project management, construction management. I involved in development, a lot of different aspects of the company. I kind of moved up in and around and through the year, or the years, I should say, through the past decade. Which was neat and rewarding and kind of cool and all that. But long story short, it got to a point where the company had grown quite a lot, which is, it's good, but the growth was fairly chaotic, and there was an increasing amount of turnover. People not super satisfied with the work environment. And it kind of is could be a casualty, I think, for a lot of growing companies, right? You want to follow and chase the growth, and the overall work environment and atmosphere can suffer if you're not careful with that. And that's kind of what happened, at least from my perspective. A lot of people weren't really. It's not to say work has to be 100% fun. Work is kind of work at times it can be hectic, and you have to get stuff done and all that, but it also doesn't have to be 100% just serious and drab and dismal, right? I'm a firm believer in that. a happy worker, you know, somebody who's in an environment they want to be in, they're going to be more productive. They're going to enjoy doing the work, and you want to enjoy working with the people you're around. And if you start removing that, you know, you're not going to. It's a bummer. You spend a lot of your waking hours in the workplace and around those people. So, yeah, long story short, it just kind of, that was one of the aspects that started to drive me crazy, among other managerial issues that there was no real way around. And that kind of went on for 2 3 years, and I just kept thinking to myself, man, I've got to do something. I've got to do something, just because, well, a job and a workplace I used to, beaming, grinning from ear to ear. You know, it was really fulfilling. I loved just being around people, learning all that kind of stuff, and it turned into, you know, one of those things I would dread going there in the morning. Just dread it. And a lot of stress, and just, I kept thinking to myself, that's not how you're supposed to live life. And I knew it was a stable job, lots of benefits and things of that nature, and it was great. But you know, and you know, there are people that obviously are in similar situations, and it's probably way better. I think it comes down to individual situations and all that. It just, unfortunately, mine didn't go the way you would like, right? So, yeah, it wasn't great. But also, leading up to my departure, I had decided it'd be smart to, if I am gonna leave, you kind of have to have somewhere to go. And I'd been streaming and on YouTube for, you know, I created my account on YouTube and posted some old videos that no longer exist. Back in, it would have been probably February, maybe January, February of 2010. But yeah, anyways, I'd been doing that for a hobby for so long, and then when Twitch came around, I started doing that, and yeah, I just spent several months just kind of taking it a little bit more seriously before I left. Is kind of thinking, you know, if you could put some good energy into it and maybe build up a bit more of a following, then could that be sort of a way out? And turns out, when you're a little bit more consistent and you know, you try to do the best job that you can, it can pay off. And it did. I had a lot of support, and it was really cool when I got to break the news that I decided to go and stream full time. And, you know, it's been a pretty sweet ride ever since. I'm not gonna lie. You know, like any job, it's not all peaches and cream. You know, you gotta do the work, and there's some days maybe you're not feeling up to par and all that, but by and large, it's been pretty flippin' awesome. So yeah, I mean, I'm coming up on a year of full time in early April. I think April 8th or April 9th is the 1 year anniversary. So, you know, that'll be a fun little milestone, I guess. But yeah, when I left, my intention wasn't to be a full-time streamer per se. That was kind of more of the starting point. I really was just kind of thinking, I just want to be a full-time me. I don't really know a better way to put it. I kind of wanted to just get away from that corporate sort of. I consider myself a fairly creative person. You know, I got a lot of ideas, a lot of other hobbies and things too I like to work on. So my brain's always thinking, and when you're in a corporate environment sometimes where you're not allowed to pursue some of these ideas, or your ideas, your suggestions aren't taken seriously, even if you know they're good, or you suggest stuff and they shut you down, and then maybe a little while later somebody else says the same thing, and then it's, oh my gosh, that person is a hero. It just really gets to you, right? So I kind of wanted to just get away from that scenario where people could say no to me. I'm getting a little emotional. It's wow. It's really nice being able to do what you want to do. Um, whoa. Sorry, that's weird. I'll be okay. No, it's happy. I'm happy. Wow. Hold on. I'll be okay. Yeah. Okay. So, take two. It's it kind of hasn't hit me. I've hit a little bit of a bit of a groove or a stride, or just sort of a routine where when I wake up now, I don't have that dreaded feeling. I get to do what I want. I get to make decisions. Maybe they go my way, maybe they don't, but there's something really nice about knowing you're the one. You're the one who's kind of on the line. So it can be a scary challenge at times, but I like it. Whereas you go back to the old realm and everything is just it's not up to you. You kind of got to do what you're told, and sometimes you know better, but you kind of just sit there and you just have to listen. And so yeah, it's been a great change for me. Um, Mentally, physically too. I've been trying to better myself in a lot of ways the past year and a bit. So, mentally, physically, emotionally, like all that kind of stuff. So, I've already gotten off on a tangent. I should have I should have wrote down what the heck I was even gonna say in this video, but yeah. Basically, I think what I mean to say is I didn't want to spread myself out too thin when I became full-time me, right? Uh, so even though I kind of went pretty much all in on streaming, which I have no regrets about, the plan was always to also do other stuff. Um, you know, uh, YouTube, obviously, be active in different arenas, different social platforms, and all that kind of stuff. But like I said, I didn't want to spread myself out too thin out of the gate, because it's kind of like, it's just, I feel like you're gonna fast track yourself to burning out. And it was such a big shift for me to go from working in the, I keep saying corporate, although, it wasn't always corporate. I used to work on construction sites and all that kind of crap too. But to go from that and then to this was a pretty big change in and of itself. So I didn't want to introduce too much at the same time, for fear of, whether it's burning out or just feeling overwhelmed, or what have you. So now that I've been doing this for, you know, coming up on a year in a few months here, I thought, I feel like I've done some good stuff. I'm a little bit more just kind of comfortable with it. It doesn't feel quite as surreal at this point. And I like to, like I said, I like to got a lot of ideas, a lot of creativity and stuff, and I wanna get it out there. So, uh, really, all this is to say is, hey, baby, I'm back to doing some stuff on YouTube. I don't really expect too much from it, if I'll be frank, in terms of, I don't expect this to be a big boost to kind of my financials, income and all that kind of stuff. To do a little inside baseball, it's just generally speaking, for somebody at least of my following, I guess, or viewership, whatever you want to call it, Twitch is a better, um, in terms of money made per hour of work. Twitch is better. You could do an hour of work, I don't even want to call it work necessarily, but like an hour of time spent on Twitch. Your presence there, if you're because you're live streaming, and you could make it a lot more than an hour of time spent on YouTube. Let's put it that way. It's not to say there's not money to be made on YouTube or anything. Um, but again, I think of somebody of my nature, I'm not doing it and being like, oh yeah, I'm gonna buy a house, man, with all this YouTube money, because that's not gonna be the case. I'm doing it because it's always been something I've done. I've always made videos. I love live streaming. I love the live environment. Getting to talk to people, just about anything, whether it's just chatting in a live environment. I like to do that a lot. I start all my streams with just talking for an hour, and usually end them that way too. And just being able to play the game also, like, kind of with people. Maybe they're playing at the same time, and you're kind of chatting back and forth. Oh, you go here, you do this and all that. That's really fun. It's really fulfilling. But I have also missed the YouTube sort of workflow where you sit here by yourself, like I am now, and you talk and you think about. It's a less, and this isn't meant as a insult, criticism. I don't want offense to be taken, but when you record stuff for YouTube, it's less of an interrupted flow, right? I can talk, I can talk about whatever when I'm live streaming, just like pretty much anybody can. But because there is that live interaction, you're often, you'll say something, you'll stop, and you'll read the chat, and, you have that back and forth conversation. But there's something nice, too, about just, I get to talk and talk and talk and talk and talk, which I can do, and not have to worry to stop and you know, it's, I don't know, I feel like certain thoughts of mine get out that otherwise might not, when I'm recording a video by myself. So that's nice. But outside of that too, you have opportunities for other sort of content, outside of the video game stuff, right? So if I'm live streaming a video game and you're kind of, it's a slower pace and you're stopping and you're chatting and all that kind of stuff. Whereas if I'm recording video game content for YouTube, it's a little bit more contained, a little bit more distilled. There's less stop and go, I'd say, and less interruptions. Again, I don't say interrupt. It's not the right word, because interruptions, it sounds negative in nature, and that's not what I mean. But there's just, it's a constant flow in a YouTube video, typically. That said, I am well known for being extremely slow, whether playing games or getting to the point. This video is already 20 minutes. I haven't really said anything, but yeah, it's still yeah, I don't know what I'm saying, but um yeah, so I guess I'm happy to kind of work my way back into the YouTube stuff. It'll be slow to start. I plan to stick to, for the time being, initially, just ease back in. It'll be more just video game kind of stuff. I like video games. I like playing them and talking about what I'm doing, or sometimes playing them and just talking about anything but the video game. Maybe it's movies, a show I watched, you know, a story that, you know, an anecdote, something that happened to me that day. Maybe I want to vent. It could be anything, right? So, video games to start, but I also, like I mentioned earlier, I've always been making skits, little funny videos here and there. I find that's neat. It's a different type of content I also enjoy doing. And other sort of in real life type of things, or working more of my hobbies outside of video games into the digital realm. Something I did last year when I started full time with the streaming. I love to garden. I'm fortunate enough to have a very large garden, or balcony, I should say. It's for an apartment. It's about 30 feet wide, long, whatever. Which for anybody who lives in an apartment or a condo is probably like, yeah, it's a pretty big balcony, 30 feet. So I make use of it. I got a lot of vegetables and herbs and vines and plants and fruits and all these other things I try to grow on it. It's a fun little challenge seeing what I can grow out there. And I use every square inch possible. So what I did was I set a couple webcams out there, and while I'm streaming and chatting in the morning, you've got a view of all the plants kind of swaying and doing their thing. And it's just really fun. So, I'd like to be able to kind of bring that kind of stuff to YouTube as well. Not that I'm any sort of expert in any field that I am, a hobbyist in. Gardening, aquariums. I like to keep aquariums and stuff like that. I'm by no means a cook or a chef, but I enjoy learning that and stuff, and making videos. I do cooking streams and stuff of that nature. So some more of those non-video game hobbies, while I've introduced them into the Twitch side. I think it'd be fun to also do more of pre-recorded videos for YouTube. Maybe just it's gonna be some more casual type of stuff, like, oh hey, look it, my cardinal climber is blooming, is blossoming. It's a type of vine, and they have flowers and they're very pretty. So maybe it could be something like that, or maybe, again, I don't want to say instructional video because then it almost comes off as oh, you're an expert, and I don't want anybody to ever think I'm an expert in something. I enjoy learning and sharing any knowledge I have, but maybe some of the videos would be more in that light of like, oh hey, I learned to do this, and I figured I'd make a video and show other people in case they didn't know, kind of, I like that kind of content where you're just sharing knowledge and enjoying hobbies, and maybe introducing people to things they hadn't seen before. I like coming from that approach, and I want to bring more of that sort of stuff to YouTube in time as well. But it'll take a little bit of time, just because it usually means it takes a bit more effort, a bit more setup, maybe a bit more timing to do that sort of stuff, right? I do have a Twitch kind of streaming schedule. you know, I guess I can talk about it here. Who's gonna stop me? But typically I stream, Mondays to Friday, and I'll start at 10 a.m. EST, and I'll go until it's kind of like a 9 to 5 thing. That's one thing I took from the corporate world that helped me ease into it. Actually, was just kind of keeping mostly the same schedule. So I'll stream from kind of like a 9 to 5, or I'll go 10 to 5, 10 to 6. Sometimes it's a bit later if I do streams with collaborative with other people. Um, and I do larger streams on Saturdays as well. And like I said, I even try to do cooking streams here and there on Sundays. So it's because of that, it does impact my ability to do stuff on YouTube in terms of like a higher capacity. And some of the videos, again, say I wanted to do a video, a balcony, video, of my garden or something. You're limited to doing that typically during the day, right? Right now it's nighttime, so I can do this because I'm inside. I got a lot of light and the camera and all that stuff. But you know, that's great. If I wanted to do a garden related video or something outside, it means I gotta timing. And then there's the editing and all this other kind of stuff. So I don't want to make expectations too high or anything in terms of the non-video game content, but it's going to be coming. And, I look forward to it when it's there. And, again, some of it will be kind of a little more sporadic here and there. So that's why I'm also going to maintain doing some video game stuff. That won't be in excess. Again, I stream video games on Twitch. Spend a lot of time doing that, and it's great fun. But when you do that, there's not going to be like a ton of time left to do a higher quantity for YouTube as well. So there's going to be, some stuff here and there. I do hope to have kind of like a video a day, and then in the chances that I can do more than one video a day, you can bet your bottom dollar I'll do that. So it's just one of those things. I'm going to kind of play it by ear. Try not to overextend too much, but I have been missing the workflow of just sitting here talking and doing some of that other content on YouTube that is more possible, right? Things, if it were a skit, you're moving the camera around and you want to add, music and do certain effects and things of that nature. That it's hard. I don't want to say impossible to do that in a live environment, but it's a little tricky. Especially if you want to do edited content and all that, which I like to do here and there. So there's still a reason for me to be doing some stuff on YouTube. And if you're here and you're watching, thank you. I appreciate that. And for those that aren't here, hey, it's not a big deal. Like I said, I'm more doing this for me as another creative outlet than anything. So if two people watch a video, both of those views will probably be me, just to make sure the audio is working or whatever. But I'm sure I'll enjoy it. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's the key for me though. Is right. You wanna do stuff you enjoy. I don't want to force content if I'm not into it, right? I think that's kind of always been a priority for me, and it kind of explains why the past year and then even before that, why certain content was so sporadic. I didn't ever want to feel like, oh, I've got to do this, I didn't want that. So now that I'm in a situation where I have a lot more control over my time and the things I do, uh, it's something special. Uh, yeah. So yeah, it's weird. I'm sorry. It just kind of hit me while I'm talking about all this stuff, right? It's been a while, and I just kind of started to reflect on what things were like before, and I just remember the first few weeks, first month, just how amazing it felt for me to kind of make this change. So, anyways, 30 minutes of blabbering when 3 minutes was probably sufficient. So if you're still here, I appreciate it. Or if you're ever here at all, it's nice. I hope that the content moving forward is something you kind of enjoy. Right now, what I'm easing into it with some XCOM 2. If you're familiar with that game and you like it, cool. If you're not familiar, maybe you'd like it. I don't know. I like it a lot. I have a decent amount of time and playthroughs in it. But I'm doing something a little different. I've never modded it. So there's some kind of cosmetic mods, or visual mods and audio type, custom voice packs of the NLSS crew. If you're familiar, which is nice and fun. There's even a voice pack of me in there, and you can download that. But also some gameplay mods, which are new to me for sure, and should be kind of exciting. I've got a few videos recorded of it now, and I'm having fun with it. So we'll see how it goes. But you've got that, and I got some other video games that I'd like to play here and there. Some that are fairly well suited, I feel like, for YouTube in terms of like episodic content, and just games that I like to play a lot and feel more comfortable with too. So you can kind of expect that stuff. But outside of that, there's going to be the other non-video game stuff coming in the future, moving into the spring and summer for sure. I'll be doing that, so keep a lookout. That's pretty much all I got to say. So I don't know if there's any sort of specific questions or things people want to know, drop a comment below and I'll fill you in. It's kind of a lot for me to sort of try to put out there in a half hour, right? A lot of things have happened in the past year and a half for me. So yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I'm also terrible at ending videos after all these years. So, yeah, if you have any questions, I guess, comments, whatever, put them down there and we can have a nice little chat. I'm sure I'll be doing some more general chat update type videos in the future. Hopefully we can kind of have a bit of not a benchmark, but like what's the term? Just like a checkup, I guess, possibly. But or not, I don't know. We'll just let the content flow. And I'm hoping as well to, outside of my own solo stuff on YouTube, there's some opportunities for collaborative stuff as well. I've always enjoyed that too, and you get to collaborate and play certain things on Twitch, and that's nice. But YouTube does, in a pre-recorded environment, offer you some other opportunities that maybe are a little trickier to do on Twitch. So that's kind of something I'm also maybe looking forward to getting back into. But yeah, I don't know. Time will tell. So yeah, if you are new here, if this is your first time meeting me, hello again. I'm Mouth. It's nice to meet you. You know, what's your name? Hopefully you sub and you hit the little bell and all that stuff if you're interested. If not, hey, you know, I'm not everybody's cup of tea. Some people don't even like tea. They're crazy. But no, that's all good too. Again, I'm here just to kind of have another place to put some content out on, and I'm not worried about all the other YouTube aspects, you know, oh, the algorithm, oh, the policies and this and that. And I know I should uh care more about some of that stuff, but um at the same time, I just want to put some videos out there, some content, and yeah. So that's it. Thank you guys very much for letting me ramble, and there should be some XCOM videos up. If there, you know, you can check the description. I'll link to them there. If you want to get started, but if not, there's gonna be other stuff coming too. So I hope to see you for that. Okay, for real. Goodbye. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. Yeah. Until the next video. Peace out.